I will probably just mute everybody. Okay. Okay, so I did just want to do some SC shout outs because everybody's doing really well this month, and there seems to be even some coaches that hadn't been hitting Success Club. They've got some points on the board, so that's really exciting. A few people aren't on the call, but I'll just shout them out anyway. So Miranda is at Success Club 2, Elaine is at Success Club 8, Carrie's at 2, Amy is at 2, who just signed up this month. It was just this month. And Camille is at Success Club 16. Courtney's at 6. Abby's at 2. And Robin's at 2. So lots of numbers on the board there. So that's awesome. Still tons of time in the month, of course, to hit those goals. Also, I just wanted to remind everybody, check the team page like on a daily basis, because we're starting to post more stuff in there, just more engaging content to sort of get everybody thinking about their goals and just personal development. We're trying to really teach everybody about like PV, personal volume, and how you can figure that out, and just taking a look at your weekly paychecks and breaking it down and seeing where that income is coming from, especially if you're somebody who wants to really build a business with this. It's important to see where you could be making your money from, right? Commission is only going to take you so far. You can bring in a really decent income from commission, but you'll burn yourself out. Like, you can't be selling like 20 challenge packs a week forever. So you need to start building up different sources of income. So that is just sort of helpful if you can look at your paycheck each week to see where it's all coming from. And also check the team calendar, because Michelle's doing tons of different live power hours. There's just a bunch of stuff on there that, you know, is important for everybody to take note of. And then when there isn't a power hour, I did see Michelle posted one for tonight. I don't remember seeing it on the team page or on the calendar, but if there's not a team call scheduled on the calendar, I will generally do one for our little team on Thursdays at 8:30, unless I'm away. Super Sunday is coming, so hopefully everybody is making it a priority to find one and get to one. They're just such great events, and I always have so many great takeaways from Super Saturdays or Super Sundays, whatever it falls on. So definitely really look into where one is and just get there. It's a fun event. You will learn so much. They always have amazing guest speakers. Like Melanie Mitro is coming to ours in Toronto. So like, that's so awesome. Summit is also coming. So if you don't have your ticket yet, look into getting your ticket, and there'll be tons of chatter in the next couple months of like hotel rooms and who can sort of bunk up with who. And we try to make it the most convenient for everybody. And also the beach bars are launching April 7th, I think. It's the weekend of Super Sunday, whatever that weekend is, or the 6th or the 7th or something. So I am so excited about these beach bars. And now is the time to sort of start figuring out like kind of a marketing plan for them, right? I think they said it's like whatever the number is, like some odd $1 billion or like revenue for snack bars like in the world. So it's a huge market, a huge market. Everybody is wanting these snack bars, whatever, you know, kind bars, or I don't even know what other kind of bars there are, but bars are extremely popular. So the fact that we are able to provide a snack bar that is seriously going to be like top of the line. It's not even going to be comparable to any other bar that you can find on the market. It's going to be similar to Shakeology. Like, you can't even compare Shakeology to other shakes because it's just not even in the same like category as other shakes. These bars are going to be the exact same way. So if you haven't, make sure you check out on the Beachbody Champions page. There is a webinar they did about the snack bars. and it is so informative. It breaks it down, and I think it's your responsibility as a business owner to really know about these products that we're launching, and you want to be able to explain to people, well, why is it top of the line? Why is it so amazing? What does it mean by having a low glycemic index? What is the like sugar to calorie ratio? And what are the ingredients? What's the protein source in these snack bars? You want to know all that information. So check out that webinar. I made some notes when I listened to it, so that way I'm able to sort of start crafting posts, talking about these snack bars. When I'm going to be having conversations with people, I don't want to be like, well, they're going to be really good. They're going to be better for you than what the Kind bar is. Like, you want to know why it's better. You want to be able to tell them what the price per bar is. I think it ends up being, for a regular customer, I think the price point is like $4 a bar, maybe $3 or $4 a bar, which I think is somewhat comparable to like high-end snack bars. And then with our coaching discount, I think it ends up being like $2 or $3 a bar. I do have it broken down somewhere. But those are important things to know. You can also receive Success Club points from selling these snack bars there's different ways people can purchase them. So it's super important that you guys all know that going into the launch, because you almost want to have a list of people who want these snack bars, whether they're current customers, current discount coaches. You want to be able to get them set up right away the day of the launch, okay? All right, that was kind of all the announcement type stuff. But I wanted to talk to you guys about what we do when we sign up a challenger. So sometimes we think just like constantly about like getting a new challenger. I want to sell that challenge pack. And then we sell them the challenge pack and we're like, yes, awesome. Like, you achieved it. But then that's when the work really begins, is now that challenger has signed on, they've purchased a challenge pack, but now what? Right? It doesn't end there. It actually just starts there. So I'm not sure what everybody's sort of system is right now with their challenge groups. If you're running like an ongoing challenge group that never has a start or an end date, or if you are running, a 21-day group or a 30-day group. So there's always like a start and a finish. And maybe you're doing a prep week before your group starts, but make sure you have somewhat of a system, whether it's an ongoing group or a start and a finish group, because when somebody signs up, they're eager, like they're keen, they want to get started right away. Think of it when you purchased your challenge pack, you were like, okay, awesome. So you want to be there for them when they have that excitement, when they, right when they sign up. So what I have started to do, and I've been doing this for a little while, so I maybe have even talked to you guys about it, but I thought it was important to bring it up again. As soon as I see their purchase in my back office, so I can confirm that, yes, because you will be surprised. I've had people tell me that they purchased something and like days later, it's still not showing up. And they're like, oh, something happened with my credit card. And well, I've never heard from them since. So it definitely does happen. But once I have confirmed that they have in fact purchased a challenge pack, I send them a welcome email. So this is just a scripted email similar to when I sign up a coach. They get an email, or a discount coach gets an email. I want my challengers to receive an email right away from me. So what can I do here? I was going to read it to you guys, and then I can post it for you guys as well. One sec here. I meant to have this up, but and I'm kind of still playing with it, like what I want it to have in it. But basically, this is what it says. So the subject is welcome, or I always just say welcome. And then it says, congratulations, you insert their name, on taking this amazing step forward in your health and fitness journey. And thank you for trusting me to be your mentor. I am so excited for you to get started. As we discussed, you are going to get the following: immediate access to a year subscription of Beachbody On Demand, the portion-controlled nutrition system, a month's supply of Shakeology, and of course, my support and access into my exclusive accountability group. So I just want to make it all clear about what they're getting, right? Because it's confusing. Like, they're also going to be receiving a bunch of emails from Beachbody right then, thanking them for their order, and now their order's being shipped, and here's a link for Beachbody On Demand. So I want to send them something that's just sort of well-rounded and just kind of organizes everything that they're going to be having thrown at them, similar to when a coach is signing up. Another amazing perk to joining us is you will receive a weekly dinner meal plan emailed to you every Friday to help you and your family stay on track. As well, you also have the option of joining me live every morning for a virtual workout. The link is always posted in the accountability group every morning, so check that out. Attached in this email is a document for you to review, and I'll go over the document. It is so important that you take some time to review the information in here. Once you have reviewed it all, you can go ahead and click this link, and you can request to join the accountability group. Please message me with any questions. I am here to help you. Once again, I am so excited for you, and thank you for including me on your journey. Megan. So that is what I do, and I think it's being very well received. It seems like it's a professional way of just like congratulating them, welcoming them, and just sort of giving them an overview of what to expect. So what ends up happening is they can then join the accountability group when they are ready, instead of me adding them in. And, you know, because not everybody's ready to dive in right at that moment, right? Like for me, for instance, I would need to have all my stuff in the mail. I wouldn't be able to start with like, without my Shakeology, without my portion control. Like, I would just need to have it all out in front of me, and then I could start. So if I had been added into an accountability group without my stuff, I would have been like, oh my God, it's overwhelming. I don't even know what they're talking about with the containers. Like, so that would have scared me off, whereas somebody else can just go right into it and be totally fine. So I give them the option, right? So sometimes they immediately click to join the group, and other times I even have to say to them a couple times, like, you know, I haven't seen you request to join the group, and they're like, oh yeah, I meant to do that, or I'm just waiting for my package. So the other thing that is super important that needs to happen, I have 2 documents that I can send them. One is a document that is it's like basically a prep week, but in a document, and it has prep for the generic like 21-day fix. So basically any program, this document will work for it. It talks about the containers, how to figure out your calorie bracket, examples of what I eat in a day, my grocery list, like just all that very generic, basic stuff that they need to get started on a fitness program. And then the other document is specific to 80-Day Obsession, because it's different. Like, it's really different than any of the other programs. So those are the 2 documents I have. So depending on if they purchased an 80-Day Obsession Challenge pack, I attach that document into the welcome email. If they just got the regular Beachbody On Demand Challenge pack, I put that document in the welcome email. And then once I send them that email, and then they go ahead and they request to join the group, I don't add them into the group yet, because I want to figure out what program that they are going to choose. So in my document for the non-80-Day Obsession one, I have in there somewhere saying, like, I talk about Beachbody On Demand, and I give them a virtual tour of Beachbody On Demand, and I say, now we need to talk about what program you're going to decide on, because I don't want them to just get into the accountability group and not know what program they're going to do, and then they end up doing nothing, right? They just kind of like dabble in it, and they're not committed. So before they even get into the group, as soon as I see they've messaged or they've requested to join, I message them and say, okay, I saw you requested to join the group. Do you know what program you're going to start with? Or do you want some help figuring it out? And sometimes they know, sometimes they don't. What I suggest they do until they get their package in the mail is I say, check out Clean Week. Clean Week is a great place to start. It kind of like gives a good overview of a lot of different programs. And then if they don't really know what program they want to do, I usually just tell them to do 21 Day Fix. Unless it's someone who maybe has like an injury or is like really new to fitness, then maybe something a little less intense, but usually it's 21 Day Fix. So then I add them into the group, and we have a pinned post in our challenge group. I think you guys all are in my challenge group, or you have access to it anyways. So I have a pinned post that's a welcome post, and I tag them in that welcome post because I want them to feel like they're joining a community. They're joining something very similar to when a coach joins our team, right? It's the same. I want them to have that same feeling. And I, introduce them a little bit. And even I can say, Carrie is just waiting for her package, and she's going to start with Clean Week in the meantime, and then she's going to dive right into 21 Day Fix. So I just kind of like summarize it for them. And then we have a message thread with all of our challengers. So I add them into that as well, and I welcome them in there. So right away they get this like awesome welcoming feeling, and everyone's like, welcome, welcome, awesome, so exciting, blah, 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 right? So it makes them feel really good, and it's not as intimidating joining this group, which is already up and running, and it appears that everybody knows each other in the group already, and I don't want them to feel like an outsider. So that is sort of my process for onboarding a new challenger, and I think it's going well, and it's very streamlined, it's simple, and I feel a lot less kind of anxiety and overwhelm with bringing on a challenger, because sometimes I was feeling like, am I supporting them enough? Like, I don't know, I get kind of hard on myself, and I think that I'm not supporting them enough. And this way I feel like they're getting into the group, and they've got all the tools they need, and I feel good about it. Just seeing your question. Yeah, I will. I'll share all that stuff. Yeah, I'll definitely share it. I'm not sure where I'll share it, but I'll share it.
I have a question real quick.
Yeah.
So, I'm kind of running my groups quarterly, sort of like you and Michelle were doing before. What is y'all's plan when 80 Day Obsession is over? Like, are you planning to just keep the group as is, or are you planning to have a little bit of a break going into summer, or have y'all talked about that?
For our group specifically, it's just not ending. Like it won't end. It's on Facebook, so it's just like not closing. And we like, even though a lot of us are doing 80 Day Obsession, we're trying not to constantly talk about 80 Day Obsession, because then for anybody who's not doing it, it's just going to feel like, oh, do I even belong in this group? Like, they kind of feel alienated a little bit. So when I welcome these people in who aren't doing 80 Day Obsession, because I feel like a lot of new challengers aren't ready for that yet, I'm saying to them, like, it might feel like everybody's doing 80 Day Obsession, but I promise you they're not. And that's why I like to introduce them and tell the group what program they're doing, because this week, in fact, I had several new challengers start. And so the ones that, I added in at the beginning of the week were like, oh, I'm going to be starting 21 Day Fix 2 next week when my package arrives. So they start to feel that connection with the other girls who are doing the same program as them. So yeah, it doesn't faze me that 80 Day Obsession will be ending. Yeah. Does anybody else have questions at all about like bringing in a challenger, that type of thing? I see Farron's questions here. What are the challenges who are MIA? Yeah, I mean, it happens. My gosh, I have probably 75% of my challengers are probably MIA, to be honest. Like, that's life. And if you can just say to yourself that you've done everything that you could do, then there's nothing more you can do. Like, of course, there's always going to be, coaches who don't give support to their challengers, but I hope that nobody on this team is like that, and I don't think they are, providing you're running a good group and you got them set up properly. Having them go MIA is not on you. I always say that, and I think I've told you guys this before, but the success, like, I am not responsible for the success of anybody, and I'm also not responsible for the failure of anybody. That goes through my challengers, that goes through my coaches. Anybody who is successful on this team is not because of me, and any failure is not because of me either. I give everything to my coaches and to my challengers, and I know that I have done enough, and it's up to them what they do with it. And your challenges are no different. It happens. Like, there was a statistic that I think, Camille, when we were at on our retreat, I think Arnaud told us that, and it applies to coaches, like 70% of coaches that come into the business are going to quit. 70%. So I imagine the rate for a challenger is probably similar, right? So don't let it get to you. You can't be like beating a dead horse either. So I check in with them. Like, I check in with my new challengers pretty regularly within the first couple weeks for sure, until I feel like they're good. And it all depends what I get back. If I'm checking in with them and they're like, yep, I'm good. Well, like, okay, you don't really feel like engaging with me, or you don't seem all that excited. So I'm not going to be like constantly following up with you, but I will continue to check in. My challengers who have been around for a long time, I still message like monthly or maybe more frequently depending on who it is. But if after a couple times they don't respond, I just stop checking in with them. They know where to find me. Like, if they're online, they know where to find me. Like, they're in my challenge group, they can find me, but I'm not going to be like beating down their door to get them to respond to me. So I don't know if that helps, but what do you do for challengers who are not using the accountability group? Any way you find to encourage them to join? I mean, I guess, why aren't they using the accountability group? Like, maybe just explain that one a little bit more. Like, you added them and they've left, or?
Well, she seemed like she was really into the idea of the accountability group, but I think I'm realizing she's not very tech oriented. So that's more the reason. And I don't know if the app would have been better or worse, because some people are against downloading extra things to their phone, or maybe she doesn't like Facebook. I have one friend that she's in, but she's not really doing much. She does not like Facebook. She's an Instagram girl, so I don't really know what to do with her. That's about it.
Yeah, I mean, all you can do is just support them as best as you can, and follow up and message with them and just check in. But they know where to find you, right? Like, you're not like their mom now, and you don't have to like run after them and make sure that they're doing okay. Yeah, I always just meet people where they're at. Like, if they're meeting me halfway, I'm going to meet them. But if it's just me going constantly to them, well, I want to work.
And some people aren't like for me, like, to be completely honest, I probably, if I wasn't a coach, I probably wouldn't be very active in an accountability group. That wasn't what drew me into these programs in Beachbody. And there's going to be other people just like that don't need it. And I need accountability, because some people just would rather do it on their own. And, that's what they want to do. And that's not what made them purchase the challenge pack. So,
yeah. Some people are just very independent with this. And before I was a coach and I was in some of Michelle's groups, I didn't even like a post. Like, you wouldn't even have known I was in there. Like, there was no way I was going to be engaging in any of that. Like, it was intimidating, and I just didn't even want anybody to know that I was in there. So you just never know, but just do what you can on your end. Okay, I'm going to move on to finding new people to talk to, because of course this always seems to be the issue of why people feel like they're not moving their business forward or they're not getting to their goals is because there's just nobody to talk to. And first of all, I think that is like the biggest BS excuse. I'll just say it, because how many billions of people are there on social media? You're telling me you can't find them. You're just not being creative enough. And you have just sort of like a lack mindset instead of an abundance mindset, for sure. Because there's tons of people out there and you can easily find them, and there's tons of ways to find them. Social media has changed so much. Like, even in the last 6 months, it is like, it's crazy to me to think of, you know, even what I was like teaching you guys or teaching my new coaches, or what I was even doing 6-8 months ago, even like sooner than that. It's all different. Like, you know, even to send some of my coaches now to go watch my old YouTube videos, like for our team calls in the summer, I'm like, oh gosh, they're not even really relevant anymore because of the changes to social media. So everybody in the business has felt these changes. If you listen to any team calls from other teams in the network, you'll hear them all. Like Melanie Mitchell is very honest with it. Like, she had to really figure out some new things to do, because what she had done for years to work this business, all of a sudden, just like that, it wasn't working anymore. Bonnie Engel says the same thing. Like, it's affected everybody on social media in this business. So like, having a like page is amazing, and it's such a great tool. And I mean, I've been investing in my like page, not just money, but like time, and like I've been nurturing my business page. But if you are not willing to invest money into your business page, your like page, it's not going to go anywhere. So if you're somebody who has a like page, but you're not planning on running ads or doing any type of ad training, you're not going to go far with it. You're going to be very, very frustrated. So that's why Instagram is actually such a great platform for new coaches, because you can find a lot of people on Instagram without having to spend any money, or you can spend some money, but it's really simple to do. Whereas Facebook ads, it's like you've got to know what you're doing if you're going to invest money in it. So if anybody is interested in building up their business page and running ads, I highly suggest you do the social team builder training. That is what I started doing. There was a bunch of us on this team that invested in that, I think in October maybe ish. Yeah. And honestly, my like page was pretty much dead when I started that training. And now my like page, I think, is doing really, really well. And it's because of the training, but it's because I've invested in it. So you really can't get it going without investing in it. So I'm not even going to talk about like pages or anything, but just know that. But I am going to talk about Instagram. And I mean, if you're on Instagram and you're finding not a lot of success with it, it just means that you aren't really doing your due diligence as a coach and finding out ways to find people, because there are so many trainings, especially lately. Tons of coaches have done amazing trainings on how to find people using hashtags, searching people. Like, it's crazy how you can find people just by using hashtags and whatnot. But I'm going to talk to you guys about something really simple that I have done. It is something you have to pay for, but I actually don't even know how much it is, but it's so easy to use and it's really not that expensive, I don't think. All of you guys could get it going tonight and start generating a following, having conversations, and really just expanding your network on Instagram. So it's called InstaZood. I don't know if you guys, like, is there anybody who's not familiar? Carrie's got it. She's on it. But are you guys like, do you guys know what I mean when I say InstaZood? Farron, Carlene, no. Okay. So it is, I think it's like, it's called a bot. Like, I don't even know what that means. I am like, if you want to know the logistics of InstaZood, you're going to have to like go to Google or YouTube, because I really don't understand how it works. I just know what it can do, and I set it up. I sent you guys all a video on InstaZoom a couple weeks ago, and I had said, I just set this up and I've done it right and it's working. Here's the video, watch it and do it step by step. I'll send that to you guys again if you're interested, but I'm going to do a screen share, and I'll just show you guys what it looks like and how I did set it up properly. It's simple. It looks super confusing, but it's not. Before I even do that though, I am going to say, if you are going to be, using InstaZoom, or if you are wanting to have new conversations with people and you're really wanting to make this work, you have to really take a good look at your social media. Because there is no sense in investing money in InstaZoom, trying to find new followers or searching hashtags if your Facebook or if your Instagram isn't appealing to people. Like if you don't have sort of like a good reputation going with your social media, you're wasting your time. If you're not showing up consistently with decent, engaging content, with pictures that are going to draw people in, and not just sharing like the fluff, if you have really dove into your own story, that's what you need to focus on first, because there's no sense in having conversations with people because they're going to be like, well, who is this person messaging me? I've never seen any of her stuff. She's not consistently doing stories. Her posts aren't about anything to do with health and fitness. So you have to really give yourself a good gut check with that. Oh, Carrie, you have 151 new followers. That's awesome. Yeah. And again, I don't know if that's normal or.
Yeah, I have no idea if it was good, but I was super happy. Because I started with like 400. So, I mean, that's a lot, right? It's a big increase. So.
Yeah, I would say so. And it just gets you having conversations, which is the best part, right? Because we have to practice having conversations. So even if these conversations go nowhere, we're practicing, and that's what we all have to do as coaches. So I'm going to do a screen share and show you guys what it looks like. Oh, share screen. Okay, you can see this okay, right? Okay. So this is what it looks like, and it looks, can you guys still see that? Will someone just unmute me or unmute yourself?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. So this looks really confusing when you see it, right? But the video that I sent you guys a while back, and I'll send you again, it literally walks you through step by step how to set this up. I don't understand any of this. Like when I look at it, I actually don't understand it. Maybe I will one of these days. All I know is that it's working, so I have kind of just forgotten about it. But basically what you do is you find pages or hashtags or people on Instagram that you want to target their followers. So you are going to target people who follow certain pages, people who use certain hashtags, people who follow, like, I think I said that pages are people. You can have up to 20 targets. So you basically just put in certain things. So you can see I've used some hashtags, raw motherhood, mom of four, 2 moms, 2 girls. And then I've got these other random pages. So these are like, some of them are like stores, some of them are people like bloggers, that sort of thing. So you're probably wondering, well, like, how did I come up with these? Like some of them I actually had never heard of myself. You will see that there's nothing to do with coaching or like, time freedom or entrepreneurship or beach body or even really much about working out or any of that, because what those are going to target are other coaches, other MLMers. I don't want to attract those people. So I'm going to talk a little bit about how you find these really targeted audiences. It's actually really fun to find them, I think. But I wanted to show you guys that a little bit. As far as these numbers, honestly, I have not been able to figure out what they all mean. And I have asked so many people, but no one seems to really understand. What I have kind of gotten out of some people is that you want this conversion rate around 10% or so. That would be a good conversion rate. So it's basically like my posts are going to be shown to the people who like or use these hashtags or follow these pages. So then they are going to start to follow me. Like they're just going to click the follow button. And so all of a sudden you're going to get all these people starting to follow you. Also, what InstaZoo does is it goes and finds people and follows them in hopes that they will in turn follow you. The other thing that it does is it messages every new person who follows you. So this is doing like work for us, basically. It's like having a virtual assistant. So instead of having to generate new conversations every day with people, InstaZoo actually does that for you. So you can set up the message to be whatever it is, whatever you want it to be. So this is the message that I have. So every new follower gets this message. Hey, at whoever. Thanks so much for the follow. I'm a busy mom of 4, but always looking to connect with other women on their health and fitness journey. Do you have any goals yourself, or are you a constant work in progress like me? So that is the message they all get. And it is crazy how people on Instagram respond to that way more than people on Facebook ever would. Like I can't keep up with my inbox because of InstaZoo, because these people are just like, oh, hey, thanks so much. And they're like telling me all about themselves, or some of them just say like, yep, constant work in progress, whatever. But the point is that you are going to be able to have tons of conversations with these people. They're going to be more likely to go check out what it is you have to offer. But again, like I said earlier, you don't really have any right to be asking these people, like, are you on a health and fitness journey yourself, if you are not present on social media? Because they're going to be like, who are you? The response that I get most times from these is like, oh, no, I'm not, but my gosh, you're so inspiring. It's amazing that you're working out with all those kids every morning. So they've obviously gone and looked at my page or my stories. So if you're not doing those things, they're going to see this message and go look at your stuff. And if they don't see a bunch of stuff about health and fitness and your lifestyle, does that make sense? Like there's no point in doing it, right? The other thing that it does is, I don't think it'll show it in here, but it will actually comment on, I'm trying to stop my screen share, but I don't even know how to. Oh, stop share. Also, did you guys know of a thing called Flume? Flume. Like you can actually access Instagram on your desktop. Do you guys know this? I just see a lot of blanks.
No. Oh my God. No. Yes. What is this? Please tell us about this.
Can you see this right here?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is like my inbox, my Instagram inbox. And you can actually like filter them to see only unread messages. And you could go into like your profile. So because I can't type on my phone that much, so I do everything on the computer. It's amazing. Just like Google Flume, Flume. It's wonderful. And you can even like go to the feed. It's crazy. Okay, side note. What was I just saying though? I was just saying something before I discovered that.
So is that an app that you use, Megan, or is it just like a site that you go to?
It's a site. I don't think it's an app. Carrie, you just did it today, right? It's not an app.
No, I haven't actually downloaded it. I think it's just a program you download on it's for Mac only, pretty sure.
Okay.
So there I haven't found one for Windows yet. But
oh, okay. I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So InstaZoo. The other thing it does is it will message it will comment on other people's posts for you. So, if you've ever watched any Instagram training, they're like, follow 20 people a day, go to their pages, comment on some of their posts, send some people random messages. Well, you could do that, or you could get InstaZoom to do that. So I would much rather have InstaZoom do that because I don't got time for that. So it will comment on people's posts. Like it'll just like find people that I've targeted, and it's going to comment on their posts. And I make it just a very generic comment. I think I have it set as love this with a heart. So it sort of just is very basic and will, like, no matter what someone has posted, whether it's happy, sad, funny, like it works, right? Love this with a heart, not like a smiley face. Because if it was something sad, like, so you have to kind of be careful with how you set that up. But I find that one works really well. And then it just gets you out there, right? So it's just doing all the work for you. So how I found those targets, because I did InstaZoom before, back when I tried Instagram the very first time, and InstaZoom was a huge fail. I was like, this is ridiculous. It was bringing in the most random people that were not my market, because when I set it up, I was like, oh, okay, hashtags. Okay, I'll hashtag fit mom, hashtag, time freedom. I was like hashtagging all these things that like you want in a coach. Well, those people are already coaches, so don't waste your time doing that. And then I was targeting things like Lululemon, Starbucks, Indigo, Winners, HomeSense, like all those nice places. Well, everybody and their mom likes those places. So you have to figure out how to be super targeted. And I'm so glad that I had done the social team builder training, or I'm in the middle of it, because this was super, super helpful when it came to setting up my InstaZoom targets. So here's what I did. Camille, you are going to laugh at me when you realize what I've done here, but I'm going to just be honest. So I'm going to share my screen again. So what you want to do when you are figuring out finding these good niched in targets, because you don't want to be talking to random people. You want to be talking to like your people, so that when they come across your page, they're going to be like, oh yeah, this girl is just like me. Like they relate to you right away. And that's when you have success with this. So what I did is I went to Camille, because as you guys know, Camille came from my ads on Facebook, because I targeted very, very well, and I found Camille, and her and I immediately clicked, and we have so much in common. And I have a lot of things in common with everybody on my team, but for some reason everything just really was like very specific. Like she's a nurse, all that stuff. So what I did is, when I was doing this sort of research, is I went to Camille's page, and I was taught to do this. So you can find one of your challengers who is like your dream challenger, or a coach on your team who is like your dream coach. Like if you could have 50 of those coaches, or 50 of those challengers, or maybe it's someone who you have met on Facebook who has not joined you yet, but you just think like, oh my God, she would just be so perfect. Go to her profile. And what you're going to do is you're going to click on the About section. And this is like, I don't think anybody really has this kind of stuff locked up for the most part. You're going to scroll. You guys can see my screen, right? I can't see any of you guys, so someone has to tell me.
I'm a little concerned of what's going to come up.
Oh, no, don't worry. Don't worry. It's being very slow, though, right now.
Gosh.
Okay. Bear with me. Oh, and I hear Andy waking up, for God's sakes. Okay, so you go all the way down here to the likes. And what you will do is you will, like, it's crazy how many people like stuff on Facebook. Like even when I looked at my likes, I was like, good Lord, I like a lot of stuff. So you can start to look at the things that your avatar likes on Facebook. So for instance, I remember coming across this one, Screaming Owl. I was like, well, what's that? I'm not going to open it up because I think my computer is really slow right now because I'm on Zoom. But as you can see, like this is a little like clothing boutique for kids, and it's a big following. It obviously has like some cute clothes. If I was really doing this, I would click into this like page and I would just like make sure like, oh yeah, that's totally something I would be into. Or even this one, Serena and Lily, like, oh my gosh, yeah, I love that. I would love my house to look like that. It's got a big following. Awesome. So I started writing, I got a notebook and I started writing down these pages. And I didn't just do Camille. I actually, Camille, this is even more funny, but you know, Claudia. So this is like one of Camille's friends who, when I met Camille online, somehow I started chatting with her friend too. So this was another girl that I just like think she, oh God, Andy's waking up. I might have to go get him. But anyways.
She's definitely the type of person you want to be studying her page.
Yeah. So yeah. Give me 1 second, guys. I just got to grab Andy. Okay. So what I did is I went to this girl who I've never met, and I went and looked at her likes, and I'm just going to stop screen sharing right now. So I went and looked at all of her likes and wrote down a bunch of like ones that I didn't know. Like, and also another thing I was targeting was like Scary Mommy and Tasty, like all those popular like pages that we all have seen, right? And then what I went and did is I went and looked at one of the pages, like one of the little kids boutiques, and I went and looked at the people who liked that page, and I looked to see, because I mean you can tell a lot from people's photos and like their cover photo and all that. So I went and looked at the people who were liking that page, and I would find someone like, oh yeah, that's my avatar right there. I would go to her profile and I would look at all of her likes and I would write them down. So I literally have a notebook that has like 5 or 6 full pages front and back of all these different like pages, ones I have never heard about. There's bloggers that people follow. There's photography sites that people like. There's cake decorating places. There's clothing. There's decorating. There's like everything you can think of. But you have to take the time to do this, and this is what is going to make the difference. And it's actually really fun, and it really opens your eyes to how many people there are out there on social media that we can find. Like it really was mind-blowing.
Meg, can I ask a question? Do you change these intermittently?
Yes, that was also my question that I had. And yeah, eventually they'll run out, like you'll kind of run dry. So I think when that conversion number gets a little bit lower maybe is when you would swap it out. So I have some that I was going to actually delete tonight when you guys were on here just to show you, and I can go back in there because some of them I have at like 2%. And I've had them running for like a week or so. So I'm like, okay, well, that one's not working. So I'm going to delete it and add in another one because you can have 20 at a time. But this is kind of fun, like doing this research. Honestly, like I like lost some sleep because it just like became addicting, like finding all these people. So start with your one person. Like I started with Camille, and then I went down to one of her friends, and then I went through one of her friends, and then I got onto a like page, and I went through all these random people. And obviously try to keep it to pages that are from the US or Canada or the UK. Because I did stumble across some really great pages, but they were like based out of other countries. But yeah, that's how you will find these really awesome pages. So I had done that for my ads training, which was part of my training. But you just lay down. So then when it was time for me to do these InstaZoom targets, it actually was, there you go. It actually was really simple, and I was so happy I had done this ads training. And so what I did, it was just a little bit different, but let me share my screen again. Oops, that's not what I wanted. And I'll just, you guys, that's right. You guys can see my screen. Okay, so I'm gonna just take, I should have brought my notebook in, but oops, this is not what I want to do. I'm gonna just find one of those pages, and then I'm gonna go into InstaZoom and just show you. And then I would have my phone with me when I was doing this. So I was doing InstaZoom on my desktop, and then I would have my phone because I wanted to sort of look up the page on Instagram, because you'd be surprised. You can find a huge, huge page on Facebook and then go to find it on Instagram, and it has like 240 people that like it. So you definitely have to make sure. So it does take a little bit of time, but I actually thought it was kind of fun. Okay, so let's find a good page here. Lavender. Okay, so morning lavender. I'm not really sure what that is, but as you can see, it's 27,000 likes. So let's go to InstaZoom. I'm going to put in a target. Did I spell that right? Lavender? Lavender? Lavender. Am I spelling lavender right? There we go. Okay, so then it comes up all these options. So this is the one I want. But before I even clicked on this, on my phone, I would bring up morning lavender on Instagram, and I would just look at it and make sure, because you don't want to just find a good page. You want to make sure it's a good page for you, because we are all going to be interested in different things. Like something that Carrie is targeting on Instagram with her InstaZoom is probably going to be a lot different than what I'm going to target. So you have to really make sure you know what you are trying to look for. Who are you trying to find? So then I would just add it as a target, and it should show up down here. So it's brand new. So I was going to delete like this one. I can't even remember what that was, but it was obviously a page that I thought was interesting, but I'm going to delete it. And I could probably delete this one as well. So that's just kind of how you go about doing this. Does that make sense?
You want to hear me one?
And you can even put in hashtags. So like
What?
Hashtag, if I put in mom, I'm probably going to get like a ton of different mom ones. So you can just kind of see. And then what I did is, so like, for instance, fit mom or mom bod, if you go and look that up on Instagram on your phone at the same time and go look at the people who are using those hashtags, you're probably going to find they're people like us, right? So you want to find the hashtags that are just everyday average people. So the mom of four actually works so well for me, because I have all these people messaging me and they're like, I have 4 kids too. I'm like, no way, that's crazy. So, all right, does that help?
Yeah, it's great, Megan. Thank you so much.
Okay, so definitely do your research. It's fun, and I just think it's really eye-opening to see what it is that you're looking for. And don't just find things that you think are going to work. Like, find it because you want that. target market, right? Like that, I think that's so important because you can waste a lot of time talking to people who are not your avatar and it's not going to go anywhere. All right, any questions at all?
Can I ask an unrelated question?
Yes.
Okay, so I started my first challenge group on March 19th. It's like 4 days ago. But I'm still trying to hit Success Club 5. So how do I, like, what would you, any tips for getting people to buy challenge packs, but not necessarily start like a challenge or accountability group right away?
I would still add them in. Like if you have someone sign up this week, I would still talk about your accountability group. Like you don't want them to have to wait until next month to get started, right? So just talk about it like, my accountability is up and running, or my accountability group is up and running, and I'm still looking for some more ladies to join who's interested. Like never stop talking about your accountability group, or talk about the fact that you're opening up a few more spots this week. Talk that way. Act as though you've got this huge group and, it's limited spacing. Like those are all things that become appealing to people, even if you only have 3 people in it and it's your husband and your mother-in-law. Like, you know what I mean? It doesn't matter. So always add them in. And that's when that email is really helpful, because then it's not like they missed prep week. You can send them all that stuff and they can go through it, and the next day they can join the group and get started. Does that help?
Yes, thank you so much. That is helpful.
Does anybody else have questions at all? Okay. All right. Well, we'll talk to you guys later. Good night.